Thank you, Count Ceorla. And Minister, I'd like for you to outline the role of the National Cyber Security Centre in tackling cyber scams. Thank you, and if you will.
Minister.
Thank you. Sorry, 1 second. There is close cooperation across many sections of government in relation to cyber risks and threats, and the specific issue of cybercrime is the remit of the Department of Justice and An Garda Síochána. The National Cyber Security Centre, the NCSC, is part of my department. It monitors, detects and responds to cybersecurity incidents in the state, and it builds resilience in IT systems, and that's with particular emphasis on critical infrastructure and government. And those resilience building measures include a set of security requirements applied to critical infrastructure, which is to be augmented and expanded through the transposition of the new Network Information Security 2 Directive, a formal information sharing network, which is called CyberCore Network, and development of national and EU certification schemes, and advisory circulated relating to vulnerabilities and risks across critical infrastructure and government. National Cyber Security Centre works closely with An Garda Síochána, ensuring that we have a cohesive national response to cyber-related risks. The National Programme for EU Cybersecurity Month is organised jointly by both organisations. An Garda Síochána and the Department of Justice are members of the National Counter-Ransomware Task Force, which was founded by the National Cyber Security Centre.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you.
Deputy Murnane-O'Connor.
Minister, when we hear, I suppose, cyber scams, we initially think of the attack on the HSE in 2021 or on the large-scale attacks of our institutes of higher education. But these are the headline stories. But the reality is that there is no one in Ireland today that hasn't been touched in some way by cyber scams, and whether it's a credit card scam, a hacking of social media account, the stealing of a password, cybercrime is now, Minister, unfortunately, a common occurrence. And these crimes can have devastating personal, professional and financial consequences for victims. The mid-term review, Minister, of the National Cyber Security Strategy committed to developing and publish on a more frequent basis tailored advice and guidance documents on steps that can be taken by citizens to prevent and mitigate these cyber crimes. Can you, Minister, confirm if the tailored advice and guidance documents are being updated and published frequently in order to protect our citizens?
Thank you. Minister, please.
Thank you. And Deputy, I can confirm that the NCSC is doing that. They're doing it in cooperation with An Garda Síochána, because they're the people who see firsthand what the effect of these scams is. And the scams are always changing because people are protecting themselves. It's an arms race. The criminals then change their methods, and then it is the NCSC and An Garda Síochána then communicate to the public through communication campaigns. They have a cybercrime week in October when they tell people about how to protect themselves from cybercrime. It's not just aimed at vulnerable or older people, it's aimed at everybody, because it could happen to you or me that you're not concentrating for a second and you click on a link or you follow something and you're scammed. And yes, these crimes are not just about a large organisation being hacked, they're also about having your identity stolen, your social media account, your bank account, and there are stories of people, not just stories, the Garda Síochána reports that people lose their entire life savings or are encouraged to take out loans and then transfer the money, and it is an increasing problem which the Garda National Cybercrime Bureau tackles.
Thank you. Deputy.
And Minister, what you're saying is correct, because this was brought to my attention. Just last week it was discovered that 76,000 websites had been set up by a network of criminals based in China. The websites marked as official sites of well-known brands, many of which have a well-established customer base in Ireland. Experts are now calling it one of the biggest online scams ever. Up to 800,000 people, mostly in Europe, were tricked into providing personal and financial information to this bogus sites run by criminals. While An Garda Síochána is not as yet aware of any Irish citizens impacted by the scam, it is not beyond the realm of possibility that Irish people have fallen victim of this or in a similar highly sophisticated scam. Can I ask you now, because of this, what is being done to protect the citizens from this sophisticated scam, which are not easily identified as a scam and therefore more trick a large number of people? And I know you're working with An Garda Síochána, but Minister, these are mind-boggling what's happening here now, and this is really worrying, you know, and as you said, it affects everyone. So I'm just wondering what else we can do. Thank you.
Well, thank you. So to Deputy O'Connor, I'd say that it's not just a matter from the Gardaí. As our lives go online, criminals go online, we spend more of our time there, so it's natural that there is more crime happening online, and that's why the Garda National Cybercrime Bureau is a much growing division of the Gardaí, because there's so many crimes are reported to them. During the pandemic, there was a huge increase in the amount of scams, of scam texts and calls with people trying to get money from you with fake deliveries and so on. And I convened a meeting of the chief executives of all the phone companies and asked them to work together. And through cooperation then with Comreg, we came up with an action plan, and a number of different scams were defeated as a result of that. There were 5 different points, which I can't reveal because I'll give the information to the criminals. The representatives of the banking organisations work with us closely because the money that is stolen from people ends up in banks, and they help to provide the guidance to the NCSE and to the Gardaí on how to stop that movement of cash out of the system.